Hello and welcome to an art stream. Thanks for stopping by. It's a nice Wednesday night on the May 14th, Tuesday the 14th, that is. It's pretty nice. And welcome. I'm Master Friend. Nice to meet you all. And this is my art stream / podcast / dev blog / therapy session. I don't know. But yeah, welcome to my little art stream here. For those who are just stopped by for the first time, I'm Brian Francis. I'm an artist and animator, and this stream's mostly a chronicle of me doing game development on my video game Blackmask. Blackmask is a self-platform inspired by portable games of the past. It's a animal fantasy story about a raccoon treasure hunter on a quest to get rich and ending up encountering situations that have ballooned further than he knows. So this is the video game that I'm developing, art directing currently with a friend, and we should have it released sometime this year. That's the hope. We're in the process of getting a demo ready ASAP. We've been working on it for the past 4 years. Started initially in 2020. And we've kind of just been going off this since. If you're interested, follow me on the, type in the command Blackmask, and you'll get access to the website, mailing list, and Twitter account. And you'll see all that stuff. This would be so sick to have an actual game. It would. It's just so the way I built the sprites, and might as well just show the art stream. The way I built the sprites, they're way larger than how it could actually fit in a cart, which is both a blessing and a curse. I do try to set it up so it can, fit in a grid. It's just, I've kind of set this game up, and the game's programmed in Unity. So we've kind of just forgone that limitation of this being a card in favor of just maintaining, I'd say, the kayfabe or simulacrum of the actual game. But, that's sort of my disclaimer, but basically that's the art style of making a game. That's basically how that's gonna go. Oh, the music's loud. 1 second. Let me calm down. Alright, hopefully that's a lot better. The weird thing about, I guess, streaming is you're trying to, when you're playing music, it's not the same music output as the stream. So that's kind of just one of those things. So if probably just filling in for the here, I'll just repeat right here. So hopefully this is not exactly going to fit in a Game Boy cartridge, but it's in that style. So that's basically, I guess, the disclaimer right now. It's in the style of the Game Boy. I have no clue if it'll actually be able to fit art. I actually haven't tried, though. I have looked at things like Game Boy Studio, and if I did some more experimenting in that, I would be able to do that. How much file size is the big boy sprite? I don't know the exact file size. Let me see if I can look PSD code. Or not PSD, but the PNG code. What the big sprites are right now. But I'm sure it's let's see, 1, 2. They're a total of 160 kilobytes. Or at least that's all the sprites together. I haven't made a sprite sheet of the entire thing, I'd say. Let's see. I'd have to make a larger sprite sheet, but yeah, together, or at least all the different sprites I'm selecting right now, roughly 5 plus. I think this is the walk file. Oh, this is the old. This one's the older walking animation. I just gave it fell too much. Game Boy cards 8 meg. Yeah, this is way too large. I think this sprite is 10 kilobytes. 160. Yeah, that would eat up a lot, right? So that's kind of one of those things where, you know, it's mostly a matter of, oh, hey, what could you know, tile sets and all that stuff. I wonder how large Cole sprite sheet is. Because this actually doesn't have all this. Let's see. And it's not bad. It's roughly 131 kilobytes. So much less than the Bears sprites. I think I could probably get away with reducing a few information, reducing his size. But it's mostly a matter of kind of just figuring out, you know, actually diving into Game Boy Studio and kind of just dabbling. I've been interested in trying to make like either a mini game or a side game to try and see if I could make like a Game Boy ROM. So that's kind of the gist of what I'm interested in doing. And I have been, you know, I've been kind of just doing various little things to kind of just survive the game's at right now. I've kind of been in a bit of a rut when it comes to working on this. Because last week I thought I was going to be, you know, doing like a double stream, but I just didn't have the energy. So I was like, you know what? I already streamed once this week. That's more than enough. So I kind of just walked away from that. Now, there have been art galleries released on the Game Boy, which are just slideshows of no real. The challenge is the 160 by 104 or 144 pic. I think I've seen that as a. There was a jam on itch.io that talks about that, and I think that's what you're talking about. I think I made an attempt to try and participate in that once, but I kind of just I wasn't able to make their deadline, so that's kind of those things. I miss a lot of pixel art deadlines. I wanted to do something for Newgrounds Pixel Day, but I just never got to getting all of that done. Okay. Because I think what I was working on was way larger than, you know, way larger than my, I guess, schedule. So I ended up just not. Well, the image wasn't as. The image was way too large for what I want to do. Let me see if I can't show it. Let's see. In this list. I'll see if I can't find the cats. That's what. You've got every Game Boy model, so if you ever do end up doing something like that, I can test it on real hardware. Oh yeah, that's pretty rad. Yeah, because yeah, so I've been playing a bunch of ROM, or at least emulated ROMs, like I'm playing on my Ambernick, and I believe this one's an Ambernick RG. Yes, an RG35XX. So I got this emulator Game Boy. It's really nice. It's nice size. I like the color. They're coming out with basically a SP version of this, and it's pretty cool. I might just get that. And I've just been playing a few just, you know, portable games on this just to see, you know, research art directions, see what's could be done. And there's a lot of, I guess, monster taming games. Like, if you want to be derisive, they'd be Pokemon ripoffs, but they're in that genre of monster collection where you're collecting monsters, raising them, and sometimes it's a monster, sometimes it's a robot. I've recently played a game called Power Battle, I think. Let's see. Power Battle. Power Quest. So yeah, it's called Power Quest, and basically it's a robot part collecting game. So, you know, think Metabots or Metabots is the only other equivalent, but it's basically robot Pokemon. But the way you do battle is it's a fighting game. So you have basically a portable fighting game on the, you know, those old Game Boys. So that's pretty fascinating to play through and see how that's tackled. I'm not very good at fighting games, but did I do it right? Okay. I was like, what the heck? Weapon arm. But yeah, it's a really nice basic robot fighting game. And you know what? I have the link here. I'll probably drop it here for anyone interested in seeing. Basically, this is a Guile Win quote video where he talks about this, you know, this Game Boy game. So you can see that in your spare time as I chat about, I guess, my initial impressions of it. And yeah, it's pretty all right. I'm not super amazing at fighting games, but doing a few of the inputs. I've played a little bit of the Capcom vs. SNK on the Neo Geo Pocket, so figuring out the inputs, I'm not completely green on fighting games. Get rid of the weapon. Oh yeah, I've been playing that. I've been playing Monkey Punch, which is basically you have a bunch of monkeys and you're raising those as, you know, being a master Pokemon or monkey master. So that's been pretty interesting with that. But it's the initial loop of Monkey Punch, and I'm not talking about the loop in author, but I think it's like monkey action, something like that. But the basic gist of it is you are raising a monkey Tamagotchi style and giving it food and you know, training it in little mini games to get stronger to fights. So that's interesting, but I can't really like stay with it because it's a lot of, I don't think I really like the Tamagotchi style ones. They don't seem to really be for me. So probably just leave the Tamagotchi variants for game. But I have been just researching just the Game Boy style to kind of just figure out, okay, what's actually possible in the Game Boy? Like, you know, tackling things like how, you know, the Shovel Knight devs tackled how people would do the NES game. So, dealing with that and, you know, overall kind of just edging really. Kind of just slogging along, developing this game so that it actually will be out with the gameplay stuff and animations and sprites. So far, it's so far I kind of feel like I'm in a rut sometimes, or I'm kind of like, okay, I'm working on this and I've been working on it for so long that I'm probably burned out. But I'm kind of near the finish line with a lot of this stuff, and I keep thinking, okay, if I just hang in there, I'll get through it. I do love the Big Bear Boy, very fluffy. Oh yeah, that's been pretty good. This bear character is it's taking a while, but the hope is that I'll be able to switch his head with different heads. So if you've been following my social media, I've been just drawing cows because I've kind of been Gary Larson pilled. I've been reading a bunch of The Far Side. Just, reading Far Side in the Far Side Gallery book cartoon collection. So cows have kind of just been on my mind. But basically, he would have the ability, and new there, I would be able to switch different heads. You have be able to have the Minotaur head and you just replace him with the Minotaur. Then you do other adjustments and you'll be able to have another large enemy character. Because I think with a few other exceptions, I'll probably be reusing these body types for, different other larger enemies. The fox enemies, like the smaller enemies, like roughly coal size and stuff like that, either they'll be drawn uniquely or, there'll be other variants and color variants and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe give them spots if you... Oh, yeah, figure things like that. But that's the hope, is that I'll be able to head swap and, put the head, at attacking animations and stuff like that. Move him here. He's able to, be like that. And that's the rough plan of, this bear body is I'm going to be using this bear body as a base and then switching heads for other different animals like, say either a polar bear or a bull or even a large boar. If you've seen my other concept art, you've probably seen me just have other ideas for different animal factions and things like that, which, I'm still world building with that, the actual proper factions, the difference between, an animal who's, has a country versus an animal who's just a bandit trying to just steal things. And figuring stuff like that, doing all that world building. Though I do still need to tighten up the plot some more, because I feel like I need to tighten up the plot for Kickstarter pitching. That's a bit light. I look at other Kickstarters and I look at other Kickstarters and they have like a little section where it's like, oh hey, this is the narrative of the game, the actual story. It's kind of like saying something where it's like, oh, Cole's a raccoon treasure hunter who's trying to make money for his merchant shop. That's alright, but I feel like it's kind of, I guess, simple. I don't know. I'm still workshopping that, but that's the initial, personal pitch that I was doing. So, boom. See here. Oh yeah, I've been, working on little things to kind of just build up to the Kickstarter eventually. I've been digging through my old art to kind of just figure out, okay, what can I put together to make a nice Steam page module, a like Kickstarter like assets to kind of just decorate it, things like that, and figure out what will actually work. So that's sort of just stuff that I've been doing while I'm working on this, because I've been plugging away at this. Boom. Yeah, a lot of pixel pushing. I want to see if I can't get this done sometime today, because I've been working on this tipping animation ever. So I think what really needs to get done is tighten up some pixels here, because I believe the face, yeah, this underside, that's rougher. This one's rough. Clean. It's a little stiff. Yeah, I'll let that go. That's you keep seeing little flaws and you're kind of like, should I just work on that? No, you gotta let it go, man. Nice. He was cute till he falls over. Oh yeah, kind of just smashes into the ground. Because I do have it so, you know, he'll loop. It's set up so he can loop when he's falling, or he's stunned. And then he'll actually fall over once he hit the stage. So it's a nice, smooth transition with that. So I'm really proud of that one. Because this is a 4-frame loop, and then another 4 frames of, well, actually 6 frames of falling. But, you know, it is what it is. And if I want to put in a card, I'd probably reduce the frames, probably like get rid of this initial fall frame. Maybe get rid of you, keep you, and maybe get rid of this one. Just have it just him already down. I like this animation enough where, you know, it's nice and cinematic. It indicates, oh wow, you found a way to defeat this big lug. Congratulations, have a club. And I've also been working on this club animation on the side. It's still a bit janky, but you know, it demonstrates what it went. And of course, gotta get some jump attacks there. There's still some jump attacks I need to do. Probably do that some other time. Make it a more like simpler, heavier weapon. Oh yeah, so far that is the task to do list of, you know, I'd say these are the things that I'm going to be doing before I let it go and say, you know what, Ryan, you need to actually just let it go, work on other things, let go of this character animation, Ryan. You are currently like spending much too much time on these character animations. They're done. Please let them go. So that's the basic idea. Feeling a sneeze, 1 sec. I was feeling a sneeze. As a consumer, I wouldn't even notice a small imperfection you do, so I wouldn't sweat so much. Yeah, that's the funny thing about creating stuff is you spend so much time kind of like worrying about the tiny stuff that you could argue is kind of insignificant. But I remember like this Plinkett review thing where it's like the audience doesn't notice it, but their brain does. And that's kind of one of those things that I do think about is while you won't immediately notice like little animation flares, if they were gone, you would definitely notice. One like notable thing that I've kind of noticed with like Street Fighter. So going from Street Fighter 5 to 6 is an immediate visual notice where Street Fighter 5 has way stiffer animations, and a lot of early Street Fighter 5 had much stiffer animations. Everybody kind of like went to their default poses, and there really wasn't interesting movement happening when it came to a lot of those animations. But then you had like the newer season ones where, you know, it introduces Zeku. I think it probably started with Zeku, where you're kind of like seeing extra flares with some movements. Like, you know, Zeku will do like little spins and twirls. Cody will, you know, adjust his tie after he does a nice like punch combo, stuff like that. And it's stuff like that where it kind of like adds a little bit more to the character personality that thinking objectively isn't needed, but does add to them a little bit more. I also immediately noticed that when you're going from Street Fighter 6's animations to Mortal Kombat, I think 10, 11? No, Mortal Kombat 1, like the newest Mortal Kombat. And I immediately noticed that even though it's both the games are mocapped, you know, you don't feel much interesting animations. Like a lot of Mortal Kombat's animations are stiff. Like they will, and I'm gonna make the big selfie right. A lot of Mortal Kombat, they'll like do like this. They're pretty stiff, and then they'll just pop out the arm. Like you don't even see much like movement. You don't feel much force. It's just they pop out the arm, and that's a jab for Mortal Kombat. Whereas like with Street Fighter, you can tell like which characters do which. You can see Ryu like turning his body, and you know he's able to just do different turns and stuff like that. And you're able to kind of like see the little animation flares and a sense of acting when it comes to Street Fighter 6's animations, where I feel like with Mortal Kombat's animations, they seem to be IK written, something like that. Like, yes, it is filling the jab function, but it's not really selling that this is a character punching. Really. Like, yeah, it's filling in the punching, but it's not like, I don't know. It's one of those things that, yeah, I guess that's a personal thing that I'm kind of like, I don't like Mortal Kombat's animations, so I need to show my work is better than such animations. Like that's kind of what I need to be doing with my work. Instead of like simply criticizing in general, I want to at least indicate, yes, I do have the work to back up, you know, what I do. Yeah. As like I look at this animation for a few minutes and at most totally forget about like, yeah, comic pages are like that too, where, you know, sometimes if I'm really getting into a manga, I will sometimes, like when I first start reading a manga, I will initially count panels. Like most manga has 5 panels in comparison to like most comic books will have 6 panels. Well, actually no. I think comic books these days are also going on 5 panels, but a lot of comics will go at a 5-panel format per page, and it just seems to flow much faster with 5 panels. And after that, I start like getting deeper and deeper into it because, you know, you're not counting panels, you know, speech bubbles in the panels and stuff like that. And let that go. Yeah, like zooming in. That should be good. Look. Should be. Alright, let's go here. Just get here, make this align. This also align, that should be. Okay. I clean up a few of the jaggeds here. I remember playing OG Mortal Kombat with the Genesis with my friends that back then it was considered shocking levels of violence. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the original Mortal Kombat aged like milk. Like, you know, the pre-rendered sprites is fucking innovative. Like, I would love to make a new game in that art style where it's like, it has that, you know, pre-rendered 3D model thing. Like, you know, like Donkey Kong and Killer Instinct and stuff like that. I'd love to do that, and I've also been speaking with a friend who's a 3D modeler, and he's been tackling stuff like that. He hasn't really dived too deep because he's been busy with other things, but he asked me, you know, what I think, and I'm like, yeah, this looks cool. I'd love to try out something like that. Yeah, certainly not a good vibe, but it doesn't hold up to modern games. Very nostalgic, though. Yeah, I'd say so. Like, you know, the one thing that's difficult about realistic graphics, and I'm not gonna dunk on realism so much, but it is one thing that I tend to kind of just notice is a lot of games that tout itself as having super realistic graphics ends up being outdated by the next console. started kind of like, wow, this looks so realistic. But then by the next game, you go back and look on it, kind of like, wow, this looks like plastic. Like I saw, I remember like early 360 games were like, wow, graphics can't get any better than that. And I think, I remember Cameo. Like, I don't know if you remember Cameo and the Elements of Power. That was one of Rare's early 360 games. And, you know, Cameo looked pretty decent on like the 360. Like, you know, it had like really good splash rain effects and stuff like that. I figured, oh wow, this is so next gen. And I watch videos of it now, and I feel like everything kind of just looks so plastic. Yeah, exactly. With Oblivion, Oblivion, it looked so realistic, but now you go back to it and you just realize everyone looks like a potato. Like, same with Skyrim. Sometimes with, you know, some mods, you can mod it so it looks a little better, but a lot of Skyrim doesn't look good now because, you know, tech moves on. You're seeing new little innovations of tech, and, you know, it doesn't really, like, a game that doesn't really have like that significant art direction or has stylized graphics isn't going to, I guess, stand that looks test of time without a community of modders to kind of just polish up the graphics, or, you know, if you're lucky, have a remaster of the game and, you know, it'll start looking better. Like, you know, the Zelda games, yeah, they look pretty decent. Twilight Princess, I kind of don't like how Twilight Princess looks now, but that's kind of just me. Like, I feel like that's probably the worst aging one. Though, the remaster did help things along. Like, the lighting's much better in Twilight Princess HD. Same with Wind Waker HD. That's gotten much better with that. Yeah, a lot of lighting stuff with remasters does help things out. But, you know, realistic graphics alone isn't going to completely solve things, really. So, I mean, that's, you know, that's how it goes. And actually, you know, thinking about it, I feel like the Donkey Kong Country series actually aged much better. And I think that's probably the reason, because they at least had that sense of lighting and art direction with it. Like, it doesn't feel as, I guess, crusty looking, because they're, you know, they're still modified sprites with a stylized art style enough that it's not completely outdated by the time you get, you know, to the N64 and stuff like that. Let's see. Yeah, N64, then PlayStation. What was the best looking PlayStation game? Probably the Resident Evil games, maybe, because, you know, they had the pre-rendered background. So they basically just had the time to render the background, and because it doesn't have to run it all the time, it could just have a really good background that just still stands the test of time, because, you know, you don't have to worry about PlayStation's processing. Yeah, Gran Turismo. Yeah, Gran Turismo, yeah, that's another one of those, like, it looked amazing at the time. Actually, Gran Turismo still kind of looks pretty decent. It's just in that, I guess, probably that personal stylized, you know, like these days everyone's making the, you know, PlayStation 1 style low poly models and stuff like that. But like that low poly high texture model look, that makes things just look much more decent. Let's see. Probably nudge you up. Oh, I know what's wrong. Okay. So, weapon arm, move head, go back, weapon arm. Oh, that's the body. I'll let that go. That looks a little bit. But yeah, a lot of those early games, some of them still look decent, but most of them don't, and that's typical. Like, most technology is going to be like that because everything's moving forward and stuff like that. Everyone's figuring out new 3D 3D elements, 3D modeling resources have gotten easier and stuff like that, texturing, high definition textures. Though I will say that file sizes aren't getting better. Game compression doesn't seem to be that much of a priority these days. You have a lot of games that have really bad storage sizes because they're really pushing higher fidelity textures or higher fidelity music and stuff like that. Like, I believe, if I remember correctly, music files are ginormous. Like, they're doing really high resolution audio files. Like, they're not just putting MP, they're putting full-blown OGGs on those files, so they're huge files. Yeah, 100 gigabytes isn't. Oh yeah, like, I think there were just so many games that could fit on a freaking zip drive, which is why ROMs are just so easy to use, because you can stick like 1 million ROMs in like an SD card and you're good to go. And while terabyte hard drives are getting cheaper as they go, it's still a pain in the butt that you still have to use so much space on your machine, especially for people who can't afford high-end machines. Like, my computer is a potato. It can run a sprite, but that's about it. And it's not really able to run most of the Steam games that I own because most of them just have such just high fidelity, graphics and stuff like that. Even when I set up on low, it just still doesn't work. And this is probably just a me thing, but ROMs don't really work well on the machine either. So that's probably just a machine. So that's probably away from the, graphics conversation. I have an N64 card that came with an SD card with everything. Oh yeah, that's, it's one of those things where, ROM stuff, ROMs and emulated games just makes things so much easier because, they're just in such smaller portable sizes. And you can just take them to whichever different software. And most modern emulators are able to run them pretty well. Okay. Let's see. Most modern emulators are able to run them no problem. I don't like this block. I like how this looks. And I'm kind of just distracting myself with different, animation tasks. And just seeing little bits of things to do. But yeah, Counter-Strike. I believe Counter-Strike is really popular because it's tiny. Like those original Counter-Strike games, they were, I think at most, I don't know how large Counter-Strike 1.6 is, but I think the fact that Counter-Strike is just so internationally popular, especially in Russia and stuff like that, is because it takes up almost nothing space. Like, you play on Deux, that's the only map you need, and it's 2 gigs maybe. It can run on anything. So, that's also why Doom is real popular. It's that big theme. Oh, can it run Doom? Can this hospital modder run? Can this like tiny baby monitor run Doom? Can this fridge run Doom? Because it's so optimized to just near just it's optimized so much that like Doom can be run on practically anything. That's just one of those technical marvels that is fantastic. A lot of indie games have been pretty decent at making good space, and you just don't really have that priority because why would you think about that? It's not really a sexy aspect of game development, but it is important making sure the thing runs. Like a lot of people, they talk about like all those features and stuff like that, but you rarely will notice like little tech things like, having good space or having, a good like compression rates, having the ability to change your saves and stuff like that until it's gone. With the with the Helldivers 2 situation, the fact that it had crossplay just was a giant game changer for that. And because Sony wants to enforce people getting that network, that will really kneecap Helldivers with that. I don't know if they retracted that. I haven't kept up with the news, but that's if they're still gonna do that, that's gonna be a giant problem. So I mean, yeah, they did sort of. Okay, they did like roll back on it, but they probably haven't. They probably are still. They probably still haven't like rolled forward on the actual thing because yeah, they probably they're probably like taking their time to say, okay, we had this initial thing, then we still need to reinstate countries. Yes, and is that what is this? Okay, I'm totally missing little. Oh, I know what's up. I know what's up. Okay, I'm like wondering why the hell it's doing this. Yeah, I think one weakness that I'm feeling with doing things in layers is that I'm spending a lot of time kind of sifting through layers instead of working thing. Hopefully this will work. Better setup. Should look better. This should actually be forward. Motion should actually be forward since it's supposed to be mass kind of just falling forward. Kind of just figuring out what's the correct movement for this, and this will be much better. Say. Okay, man, like have a curve that should be good. Jerk's a little too far, but I'm in the right spot now. I'm in the right direction. And just have a little transition frame here, just to indicate that it's now going back. That should be good. So, Gally, you making any games yourself at all? Working on like any tiny projects? I'd love to see. Nice little conversation continuer. Oh, wouldn't know how. Oh, well, you probably. Well, let's see. I guess a way to start making to write it down on a piece of paper, I'd say. Figure out, okay, if I want to make a video game, what kind of game would it be? I imagine, maybe a cool platformer, or a fighting game, or, well, you probably shouldn't use a fighting game as your first game because it's a lot of work. But you could probably make a your own personal little manual. Make a little art collection, and just write down, kind of just imagine what would be good. I used to have a 100-page document of a world I built. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that kind of works. As long as you wrote it down, so that's good that you write down your stuff. And I don't know if you still saved it, but you'll probably be able to get back to it if you look back, and you'll probably figure out what's interesting or what's cringe and cut it off. And you might be able to figure out, okay, what kind of game would work with this world built. And you could, try and make a Dungeons and Dragons or a Pathfinder game. One of those tabletop things. And you could do that, and that'll be a nice way to kind of just get things going if you're interested in trying to make a game. I don't like how it shoots that much. Okay. This is more of a line when the other frames are kind of just more liney. I probably need to just reduce this down to a line. I'll look much better. But what was I saying again? Oh yeah, game development. One thing that you can do. Oh, and you don't have a name. Okay. Well, that's kind of just one of my own personal just suggestions. If you're still interested in, dabbling in making a game, you can still do it without programming. It's just, you'll be able to do things like, make a little tabletop thing or like a art manual. If you ever seen the Super Eye Patch Wolf thing, he talks about the world of fake video games where it's just a bunch of people, doing art projects where they're making what they believe is a video game. They're, talking about all the characters and the gameplay elements and all that stuff. And, that's, a nice little art task you can do if you're, stuck on not knowing what you want to do with drawing, or you don't know what kind of story you want to make. That's always a little thing that you can try. Just imagine a game, or figure out gameplay, how a character will move, what kind of levels, what the levels will look like, that kind of thing. And those are little tasks that you can do. I sometimes think about video games. Some of Blackmask stuff is very influenced by Zelda, but this was initially a fantasy world because I was interested in Zelda and Final Fantasy and stuff like that. But I never really dabbled into actually making a proper video game because after my first hint at game testing, I was like, no, I don't want to work on a video game. That's way too hard. And look at me now. So, that's little things that I've kind of just been tackling with that. But yeah, you know, I sometimes like imagine like little ways of how you would do a video game. I originally back in I think 2014, I wanted to learn Flash, and it was like Macromedia Flash, and I want to make like a Flash game on the arcade, and the idea was to make a game about a pimp trying to get his hose off a tree. I don't know why I was thinking a pimp trying to like get hose, like he would like pimp slap trees to knock hose off the trees and stuff like that. And it was a dumb arcade game. I'm like, now that I'm thinking about it, this is absolutely dumb. But I was, you know, trying to think, okay, this would be a game that I would do. I even like sketched out an idea of like what the pimp would. Do I even still have the sketches? I wonder. Let's see. PIMP. Pencil art. Probably don't have the archive scanned. Let's see. In my Flash. Is it in my Flash archives? No. Nope. Nothing in my animation. Pimp. Have a game. No. Alright, I probably didn't save that game, but that was one of my early ideas for a video game. Of course, I never had the discipline to learn action scripts to make that go forward. But I do remember I was like sketching sloppy ideas of what it would be like. So that was one of those like bright game ideas that I had. Alright, let's tighten the weapon up here. Yeah, it's a very Snoop Dogg game. I don't know if like Snoop Dogg would be fine with me using his likeness, but I'd probably just be in that, like, dumb. Because I think it was just back in the day when everybody was kind of just a dumb, edgy kid. And I wanted to make it for Newgrounds, so of course you do the Newgrounds edgy for stuff. But yeah, it's kind of just one of those just wacky humor ideas. Did I think of any other ideas? Like, you know, there have been a few occasions where I imagine my own like RPG world, but of course that's, I think a lot of that stuff kind of just informs my art and stuff like that. A lot of my art is me thinking about worlds and stuff like that. But in terms of actually working on a game, I hadn't really done much. Let's see. Game. Worked on a few game jams. Worked on a few game jams. Did like one global game jam, one science game jam. Let's see. I did another game jam, which was a I forget what the theme was, but no, I think that one was also a global game jam. Because it was a game about I forget. Okay, so one game jam was a game about preparing, like keeping this automatically walking guy from getting harmed by, you know, little death pits and stuff. So this guy would be walking, and if he's about to walk into a pit, you would click on the manhole cover to cover the pit up. And that was how that game would work. You would be clicking around to avoid disaster. Basically, we were making Ghost Trick before we even knew what Ghost Trick was, because I think Ghost Trick was out. I don't think I'd ever heard of it or played it until maybe. Actually, no, I don't even think I've played it before. I think I'm gonna make them here. Make the mouth much wider. That'll work. This is starting to work, and I believe I've got this. A nice wide mouth here. What's this? Okay. Sometimes you have some stray pixels, you're trying to figure out where in your giant pile of layers you leave that. Ugh. I think I'm nearly done, I'd say. Let's see. Play. Alright, they're looking pretty wobbly. Looks good, looks good. Can't find anything out of the ordinary except this frame. This frame kind of like shrinks it, so let me see if I keep drawing on the weapon arm. The head. Now I see. That'll work. Much too long. This could have a little bit more room. Oh. Okay. Alright, that's looking more consistent. Zoom out. Have you fall. I like this frame where he's completely. Let's work you. Get that going, and that should look more consistent. That's looking great. Control S. I think we're in a good spot with this. The only other thing that I could say about this is that the line cloth doesn't really do much. And there's a few colors like missing on the bottom part. Oh yes, posture check. Thank you. I should probably stretch anyway. Yeah, the one thing that sucks about this chair is that it is a wobbly piece of shit that has no back. I still need to scrape up some cash to get like a more proper office chair. I've been looking at Craigslist for office chairs just to see if, you know, there are any notable chairs that are kind of just being let go. I want to get like a Herman Miller chair because I've been getting so many crappy Walmart chairs. I'm like, you know what? I will splurge on an actual proper chair, and I'm sure it would actually work. So yeah, it's also creaky. I don't like this chair that much, and even when I like do things like heighten it or lower it, like I can. Where is it? Even when I like put it up higher, it's still not as high enough because I'll end up hunching and putting my face in the Cintiq, especially when I'm working really hard. I'm kind of like, I'm kind of just putting my face all the way in it. So, yeah, it was very much worth it. Mine was really expensive, lasted 3 times longer than any other. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, like, I feel like there are some items where you can't really cheap out, say. Like, you know, a computer power supply, that's good to spend money on getting a decent power supply. Let's see. Computer chair, comfy shoes, spend money for like those little those shoe softening things. Work boots is another one I'd say is super worth like going expensive for work boots. Like $300 Caterpillar boots have lasted me 6 years. So I am really happy that I just blew that cash for just, well, actually no, they weren't $600, they were $300. Like it wasn't that expensive. They were still out of my casually buy budget, I'd say. So, you know, just sometimes it is worth spending that much money. What other thing? I mean, I think the fact that you spend money on game consoles is probably just my budget bar of like, okay, would getting this be worth getting a game console? And 9 times out of 10, it's actually more worth it than getting a game console. Like, getting I recently purchased a solid state hard drive, like a portable solid state hard drive. And I think I got it for, there it is. So a while ago, I think at the earlier this year, I purchased the SanDisk portable solid state hard drive, and it's really nice. It's a nice 2 gigabyte hard drive. I was able to transfer a lot of my files, and it's worked much better than my old hard drive, which was I think a Western Digital hard drive. And one thing that just really sucked about it, and this was the second hard drive that did this, is that for some reason it like whirs, like I think inside of it's a spinning hard drive. Let me see if I can't find it. Here's the cord. So my older hard drive's a Western Digital hard drive. It's pretty okay, but I believe this one was my 4 gigabyte passport, or no, 4 terabyte. But it's it has a lot of space, but for some reason, even when you plug it in, it won't run. And that was entirely frustrating to me. Like, I had to constantly plug and re-plug in just to get it working. So that was one of those annoying things about having a non-solid state portable drive. I have 6 drives in my PC, just random ones I've kept over the years out of laptops. 5 terabytes total. I believe my PC has 2 solid state drives, one for the operating system, another for the programs. I believe I have a 4 terabyte general hard drive and 1 2 terabyte general hard drive. See specs right now. Yeah, 1 2 terabyte, 1 4 terabyte, and then the rest are I think like 2 56 solid states and another one. And at my work we have a Linux server, so we test hard drive. I've been curious about finding a good Linux Linux OS, because I have a junk laptop that I don't want to junk it, like throw it out or nothing like that, but I want to see if I can use it as like a test laptop for installing Linux on it and seeing how well Linux would actually work with that, because I would love to try to learn Linux and kind of just see, okay, could I transfer most of my art stuff to Linux and actually be able to work, like actually do my art stuff, actually, do drawing, productivity, yada yada, that kind of stuff. Linux Mint is the beginner friendly one. I'll write that down. Linux Mint. But yeah, everybody's been mentioning, or at least I hear a lot of mentions that Linux is, more effective about, just being a better OS. And, with Windows being so much bloatware and just stuffing and trying to solve problems that I never asked for Windows to solve, it gets quite annoying. And I've been using Windows, I guess, all my life. Like, I tried using Macs back in college and I was miserable. And my iPad, even with my iPad, even like work with Procreate, I felt like I suffered when I used my iPad. Like, I could not just plug in my iPad and load my MP3 files on it. It was such a pain in the butt to just move files from the iPad to my PC. Like, iTunes does not run for crap on a Windows machine, and I am irritated on it because it used to run fine. And I guess there was some, I don't know. There's a bunch of just crap with that, but iTunes is shit to me. And I'm not in the Apple ecosystem. So because I'm not in the Apple ecosystem, I'm not as enthralled with Apple's stuff. And a lot of that accumulated to me freaking losing my iPad back in November of last year. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to replace it. I don't even care about finding it now. I mean, I didn't look for it, but nobody reported. I'm sure if somebody found a full-size iPad, I'm not going to tell anyone. But it's like, I don't feel like buying a new iPad or replacing it. Because I don't really use it any more than I use my sketchbooks or my Cintiq. And the only big reason to still have an iPad is just that portability. But it's like, if I can figure out a way to get my laptop working, I have a mini Huon tablet, and I can just use that tablet with that, and the Huon was like $30. I think it was just on sale for this. Let's see if I can't find that. It's in here somewhere. So yeah, this is a nice tiny Huon tablet. It's teeny, but it's been pretty good for just portable stuff. So that was what I used to use on my laptop, and that's pretty nice. I used to carry my Cintiq with me, but it was huge and bulky and no longer. Actually, I still have a bag for a Cintiq, but I'm not like, you know what, I already made my home setup. But I used to use a Huon tablet, and that was pretty, it served me. So if I could figure out a way to kind of salvage my laptop, I recently ordered a new laptop battery because I guess the initial one kind of just died because I can't use my laptop without the plug. So trying to figure out ways to kind of just have a more portable laptop. If I can get away with it, I would love to not use another tablet system. I would probably, if push comes to shove, I'd probably get a Surface. I'd get a new Surface tablet, or maybe a refurbished Surface, because I used to have a Samsung Note 10, and that was how I was doing my initial. I used to use the tiny stylus pen with art app in an Android app in store and stuff like that. And I was drawing one on my Samsung phone, and I was doing pretty decently with that. If you follow me on social media, you'd probably seen a bunch of rabbit drawings. And I was doing that all in ArtFlow, and that was pretty good with that. I only use the laptop for watching YouTube videos anyway, so when I went to an Android iPad, there's a lot of thin, light laptops out there. Okay. Yeah, my laptop is a proper Asus Republic of Gamers laptop. Like, ugh. Okay, good, it's not pleasant. Look at the size of this motherfucker. It is huge. Like, this is a full-blown gaming laptop. It's, I believe it's a 13-inch screen. It looks like it is worse for wear, but it still works. It can still turn on. It currently runs like Windows 11, or I think it still has Windows 10. But it is trying to force me to upgrade all the way to, like, I think Windows 12 or whatever. But I ain't doing that because motherfuck that. Yeah. Put that back. Yeah, I've broken many screen hinges. I've been pretty decent with this hinge. Pretty good with that. I think the worst of it is the outside plastic has kind of sticky. Like, I don't know what happened, but I think the way the laptop plastic is, it's like a matte something, and the plastic's kind of just gone sticky. I don't know how that happened. Okay, but I should at least get back to work. Ugh. So we have a basic rocking motion. I could probably add some more stuff here, so I'm gonna basically do some small highlights here, and we're basically gonna be winging it. Skip you here. Add one here. Put one here. Like, I'm doing like some wrinkles. It's the coating. A lot of older laptops had that. Ah, okay. That makes sense. I wonder if there's a way that you could wash it, or I guess wipe it down or something like that, but it's like a matte rubber or something like that, so it's a weird feeling, and it's close to the keyboard, and that's really. I could probably cover it up with stickers or something like that. Take a few of my extra stickers and kind of just put it where near the keyboard, so I don't have to feel the frickin' awkward matte plastic that's currently sticking. Deal with that. Alright, wrinkle 2. Bada boom. Go here. I'm kind of just working real zoom out here. And that should be good. Zoom me out just a wee bit more. It's funny because I technically could just get away with swapping between, but I'm so used to erasing that it doesn't really. Alright, let's see how you look. Alright, you're looking really good. Okay. That's the first try. And now we do the off leg. And I only have a few frames I gotta deal with. Do some adjustments down here. You work the bottom here. Boom. Down he goes. Loincloth. No, I just realized that he doesn't have the middle spikes. As his previous frames had the middle spikes. He's down, that's consistent. There's a little gap here. That's where it's looking rougher. Clean it up just a wee bit. Clean you up. Should be good. Now, missing leg here. Let's see if I can. A little bit of alignment. Should be. Loincloth. Looks fine. I could readjust. Let's see. This could be moving back just a wee bit, just to indicate that the loincloth is obeying slight physics. You know, one day I'll see if I can. You know, I'll probably do like a short stream where I actually just dive into Game Boy Studio proper, because I had been trying to like scrape up some amount of time to just learn Game Boy Studio. Like, this is completely off of Blackmask, but I would love to kind of just look at Game Boy Studio and be like, okay, I think I know what I could do with it. And because I have it installed on my machine, it's just I just don't take enough time to actually just go through it. Same with RPG Maker Ace. I have RPG Maker Ace thinking, okay, man, I'll like make some side game inside, and haven't really dived in too much into it. So I think RPG Maker is a bit more advanced. Like, I was going through the UI and it's a lot more complicated. So I probably need a little bit more time to kind of just absorb and look through some tutorials and stuff like that. One fast spike. But I think right now my current, I guess, Blackmask priority is one, get some rough storyboards done for, you know, little cutscenes, and get in some instructional writing for, you know, here's how you do tutorial, here's how you do yada yada. Plus tighten up some like little lore bits where, you know, why the hell is Cole going on an island? Well, here's why. Write down that Cole has discovered the existence of a lost treasure that his mentor, Madame Blackmask, has been researching. And he's wondering, oh, what's on that island? I will go hire a bunch of sailors to go figure it out. And shenanigans happen and video games happen. And that would be, you know, the story so far. And now it's a matter of actually putting down those visuals with that. Let's see. Does this loincloth work? I don't like that. It's like this for two. They like unlink you, make you your own thing. That'll be good. That. Boom, boom. Yeah, the TF2 music. What's currently playing? I don't have my headphones plugged in right now. Yeah, TF2 music's playing right now. It's a medic. Yeah, I actually have the, I bought the official soundtrack just because I used to play a lot of TF2 back in college, and I'm like, I didn't play it a lot because I think I started during the Pyro update, so it was, back when it was, I think it was when it first went free to play, so that's kind of just one of those times where it's kind of like, okay, let's just watch that. And it's actually kind of just how I encountered, other TF2 streamers, including a lot of early Germa, like YouTube videos, just watching Germa just early and kind of like before he became this entity. Okay. Better. Let me go here. You're like, put you down more. Push more. Clean that up. And that should. Yeah, so I was, watching a bunch of this early Germa stuff back when I was just learning TF2 and kind of just enjoying it. Because I admire TF2 from a distance because, it had amazing character designs. Like, I was just right into it. And, I love the Meet the Team animations and stuff like that. The shorts and all that. And it was real compelling. I really like the art style. Plus, I was following a lot of the, the Gmod Idiot Box stuff. So it's kind of just that wild time of early internet garbage. It's just that era of YouTube poops and just being an absolute garbage person. So yeah, it's kind of just one of those things. So now it's going on Sonic 06. That's one thing that, I cannot peg against Sonic 06, or even just Sonic in general. The game might be crap, but I know the music's at least gonna be decent. I'd say you can't. I'd say that's with most, I guess, bad games, like quote bad video games, is usually the music's gonna be, especially Tim Follins like NES collection stuff, Rob Hubbard. You're playing a lot of garbage NES games, but they have way better soundtracks because you just have composers just doing it because they're damn good musicians who, had the unlucky break of working on not very good games. And that's a shame. You know, you have a lot of game composers who probably should be on that level, like Nobuo Uematsu, or I guess a more modern person would be like Casey Williams or something, the Metal Gear Rising soundtrack and stuff like that. But it's like a lot of those composers kind of just forgotten because they hadn't worked on games that are meant for other people. So that's kind of just one of those bad luck things that just, you know, that's one of those just tough things. A lot of mobile games also have pretty decent music too. Like, if you actually hear the music to Candy Crush Saga, like it's a full-blown orchestra soundtrack, and I'm sure that's the Activision money, like going right into it. But you know, you listen to the Candy Crush Saga music just by itself, without like all the addicting puzzle, without like the microtransactions and all that stuff, and it's a really nice, relaxing soundtrack. I should see if I can't find like an official soundtrack of Candy Crush. Like Plants vs. Zombies has a great soundtrack. Peggle's pretty good with that soundtrack. What else? Let's see. You know, I can't think of other just soundtracks that just crush it in terms of just really, really good music. Oh yeah, and there's a Mario 64. This current thing's playing right now is Mario 64. I also realized that the music buddy's not running. Come on, music buddy. Alright, the actual main soundtrack should actually be playing right now at the bottom. I'm like, why is it not showing the actual name? Rails I haven't activated that. Which kind of sucks. I hate that I have to manually activate it, but I guess that's the tough thing about streaming, is there's so much stuff that you gotta remember to reactivate. And I mostly kind of just do that as, I guess, distractions from the art. If I want to be really objective, a lot of these bells and whistles I'm kind of just incorporating are sort of distractions from the art. But I kind of feel like you're not really getting much out of me beyond seeing this cool artist draw cool sprites from your yesteryear you. And that's kind of as far as I can really take it, because where else could I take this other than cool art? I know other artists can do mute streams, and sometimes I feel awkward where I'm just drawing and no one's really, you have a bunch of people kind of just watching it. I feel like I should be saying something, and maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm kind of just feeling weirdly awkward about something that probably doesn't matter. I've only hopped into a few other art streams, and some artists will talk, other artists won't, and it's really a luck of the draw with some of these things. I usually set up my Twitch recommends to go from lowest views to highest, just to see if there are artists that are out there or also streaming and not really getting me. I'll stealth follow, or I will go on their website or to kind of just see what's their art like. If they have like an interesting art style, I'll kind of just check them out, see them out, see what they're doing, and they're pretty decent. You find some gems, and a lot of times you find people who don't have artwork that's your bag, but I'm sure it's someone else's bad with that. So I remember there was a few weeks where the artistic nudity stuff was kind of like being like growing, so you had just a bunch of titties streaming full frontal. Like they aren't even like doing any like proper painting. It's just you're just seeing the giblets just out there, and it's kind of like, this is not figure drawing. I know what you're doing. You're trying to skirt the Twitch lines using art, and it's not a free pass for like you to jump in. So that kind of sucks with that. So I mean, you kind of have to go to places like PicArto for actual drawing. So that's kind of how that goes with that. I just realized I'm like drawing on the freaking thing. Oh yeah, returning to music. I really like how the Super Nintendo does slap bass or slap bass or whatever the heck you pronounce it. Like, I don't know if that's, the sampling of a Super Nintendo game. It probably is. But the fact that you're able to just emulate an interesting bass line for that, I'm liking that. Like, I believe this is Yoshi's Puzzle League or Panel de Pon. So that's kind of one of those notable puzzle games. All right. Have I completed this? Let's see. Okay. Line Claw's looking good, actually. Could probably let this go, huh? What the fuck is that? Alright, let's figure out whether that's part of the head. Every time you kind of just look at it, you kind of just see new flaws as you go. I'm trying my best to kind of just let these flaws go. I'm going to bed. See you next time. Yeah, see ya. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. And, yeah, I think I'll probably... Well, actually, no. I'll probably, tackle some other, anime for this stream. Let's see. So far, I've gotten this done. So, I'll at least save here. What else is left? Sitting. And I think the way I had this sitting animation. Work. Let's see. We need to move above. A like extra layer. Layer. Probably like move you. See about. Oh, that looks good. Why the heck? Okay. This was supposed to be its initial low hit. Damage at the high. I don't like this. Doesn't look like it's yeah, let's get rid of these. Let's start from scratch. Alright, start from scratch. Start from a high hit. Control S. And let me look at my refs here. Because I have like an animation, man. Maybe I could pull it off. Let's see. Alright, so we have a tripping animation, a back tripping animation. Hitting backwards. Above hit. I think I might be able to do something like this. Alright, let's see. I think I could probably do something where stick. There. Actually, let's keep this here. Stick figure. And I'll probably just go on a short demonstration on how I would block in characters like this. Oh. So, usually how I would do an initial block-in is I will draw a basic stick figure like this. Now do a basic sloppy little stick figure, and that's the basic drawing. Do it for an idle pose, and I would begin to add new empty frames, like figure out what would look good, figure out what will be the key interesting pose. So if he's taking damage here, it would probably look like this. This. Like maybe a new like cop. It may like have a slight rotation. And one nice like key thing that I tend to do is I tend to rotate body parts as I see fit, to not move around too many of the shapes, and try to go as far as I can without drawing new drawings. Like there. You like take a damage here. Boom. Open your mouth. May like nudge your head further to indicate you're now resting. That looks good already. And I'm rocking just 3 drawings. And even with just these 3 drawings, you already have a convincing animation. And that's just with 3 key poses. That's just the initial sketch. Now then, you can expand on this by like figuring out how you would go from neutral to damage. And one thing that's pretty nice is I'm able to just plan how it's supposed to look right off the bat. Just doing these pre-sketches will just skip out a whole host of guesswork. And I could probably do something where you have it so his knee rotates a little bit more. You hit high. Bear's taking damage. And that's actually a better silhouette, I'd say. That's good. So let's see if I can't tackle a low animation. In fact, let me duplicate you. Yeah, we'll just work off of this one. And we'll work off the initial high hit. Try a low hit. Make that backwards, go back to my ref. I feel like this one's a more complicated. It's supposed to look like he's tripping. Like Cole has hit him at the bottom and now it's falling on his face. Cole would need a heavier weapon. Or maybe he doubled down, actually. Maybe he like doubled down or something like that. Maybe he like actually doubled down instead. Then I should just use Alt N. Oh, Alt N. Do empty. Oops. Like on. And he probably like have it so he rotates even further. Kind of like having a double down. have the initial super exaggeration before returning to neutral. I probably shouldn't explain why I'm making a more lower position before returning to this initial position. And one thing, the reason I do that is because of exaggeration. So if you know basic physics, you'll know objects in motion stay in motion. Well, there's this thing called overshooting, and that's basically what it is. When an object is moving, it's currently still moving until it's stopped by an outside force. So, thanks for the follow, OG to Desi. OG to Desi. Thanks for the follow. And, watch a little emoji party here. You're welcome. I'm kind of just chatting a little about how I tackle basic, little animations and talk about a thing called overshooting. So, the reason why I choose this position to go further down this position, and honestly, this would probably work better with this one. So the reason why I have the bear head go further to the right before settling down to being at the top here is because his head is impacted. This is getting hit in the head. And because that force made his head move backwards, it's making him constantly just move backwards. And because his neck is holding his back, that's where it's now clinging onto, and he's returning to neutral. So we're basically exaggerating that, the feeling that the object is currently still in motion until it's stopped by, whatever force is stopping it from continuing. And that's a nice way to kind of just sell that either things are feeling weight or things are getting impacted and other little things like that. So in animation terms, that'd be called overshooting. And there are other things where you probably call it ease out. I think that's one it is, ease in, ease out. Or you'll probably see a curve where it'll be like this. And the reason it's doing that is because the object is slowing down its motion as it's approaching the other part of the frame, while the previous frame was slowly starting up and then slowing down, as opposed to it being linear and just going the same speed constantly. No difference is. That's my initial reasoning behind why I'm animating things. And you know what? This ain't gonna work. This doesn't sell that he's getting hit low like this does. I think I'll go back to my initial plan of just have him fall, get knocked backwards further. Let's see. I feel like his leg would fall backwards. And the leg would actually just back here. Maybe that's a little too much. Maybe if it was more of a slow hit, because this would look like he's just tripping all the way out, which is not what Cole can generate. This ain't the power that my little guy can generate. He's able to wield this heavy weapon, but it should be enough to knock him back, but not tip him over just yet, I'd say. Like, I think, let me see if I could, find the thing low. Or better yet, Street Fighter. Street Fighter 3, you never fail me. Hugo. Alright, so we're gonna look at some Hugo animations here. But what I'm looking for is a low hit. Getting hit. Sting. Okay. What was that like low hit? Hey, that one was low hit where he was guarding his crotch. Yeah. I think these lower one here was his hits. Okay. Think I know what I can do. Like knocking forward. That should be right. And return this to neutral. Yeah, I'm kind of like pondering new ideas for what this is going to be. Neutral. That should be good. Let's see. Maybe if he was slightly turning, like it would look like his knee buckling. Like what? Buckling himself. Yeah, like something. I'm kind of just winging it, kind of seeing what would be a good working sketch. And just indicate, hey, this guy's getting hit low. That looks okay. Maybe like if he was not that looks okay. High hit looks okay. It looks like he's getting hit in the head. Dick. Doesn't really look like he's getting hit in the, which is the furthest with his neutral, because it's supposed to look like he's the initial hit is down here, because Cole's this size, and let's see if I can bring Cole here. Cole's roughly this size. They'll be hit like this. Like if he did this motion, it should basically break his freaking knees. It look like his knees are like buckling under or something. Maybe if it was I had it initially right when I just had it, so he's nearly stumbling backwards. That's probably better. Okay. I think I have a rough idea how I can tackle this. Let's see if I can set up the body so it can, which is going to suck, but I think this will work. Air bot here. We're just gonna do nice pen control. And we're going to rust of his fur here. And we're going to just really exaggerate it. I want to get this done ASAP. Right. Add an outline. And you know what? While I'm here, not this. So. I'm going to try and cook with gas here. I know what I'll be doing for next stream. I know I'm going to be going to Anime Central, so that's this weekend. Everything else is kind of just, you know, whatever comes to me, comes to me. I am rehearsing, working on a storyboard, not storyboard, but a animation stream. I've kind of just been rehearsing stuff to kind of figure out, okay, what would be a good way to present making pixel animation. That's kind of just been figure out what the heck to do, sort of tutorial thing. And making tutorials is really hard. Keep forgetting that. Oh, hey, you do need to, you know, make sure you have a way to explain this so it's concise. Ugh. Now, Bloodstain's a pretty decent game. It's not Symphony of the Night, but I'd say it's a solid game. Though it is not well optimized. Like, even on my laptop, and it's more of a gaming laptop, like, even that wasn't as... Even that kind of, like, ran kind of off. Nearly got you going. Got you working. Work. Okay. Text there, outline. Going. One thing that is pretty nice about just modern, I guess, just current day pixel art graphics is that I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about size limits or doing every little ticklish pixel push. I can just be in it and be done. I don't have to worry too hard about sprite limits, really. And of course, if I was simulating this as a legit, put it on cart Game Boy game, this would roll totally fine. I'm running out of energy, so I think I'm really close to kind of just wrapping for the night. Currently 9:07 p.m. Okay. Not horrible, but not amazing. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Fast outline. Oh, Oof indeed. But yeah, I think I can just wrap this for now. Probably just work on this damage animation in my spare time. But for now, I am glad that I got this tipping animation done, finally. And he's able to die now. He won't be able to fall back, but things will actually be looking pretty good here. Anywho. Anyway, I think I'll just wrap this stream. I am fairly tired, and I managed to actually get some work done. I'm pretty happy right now. Got some work done just in time to avoid doing more work during it. Essential. So far so good with that. Hope to get some more stuff done after the stream. Anyway, it's been nice. I will be streaming next week. I'll announce when I stream. And I'm still kind of experimenting with different days to stream. I usually stream on and experimenting with trying out other days. I might stream Thursday, I might stream Friday. I'll figure out what's the best possible stream. Follow me online. I'm all over the place, and feel free to join. It's Fran, and I'm signing out. Good day.